Okay, good morning to everyone. Thank you for being here. This is a session that unfortunately the speaker can't be here live to deliver the session because she is at the University of Macau, where I believe it's exactly 12 hours behind us. So it will be midnight for Professor Shaw, which is why she sent us a pre-recorded session. We will be monitoring the chat window, and please put your questions in for her so that we can send it to her. And maybe if you want, you can email her directly or post your questions and include your email address so that she can respond to them. That's the way we'll be doing this. So we're going to start by showing you the session. Use the chat window like you would for any other session, only that she won't be here to answer them, but she promises to respond via email. So yeah. Amy, can you start the recording? I will start to first, I'll just introduce her briefly, the speaker, Amy Shaw, who works now presently as an assistant professor of psychology, is based at the University of Macau. She graduated, though, from Rice University in 2017 in the Industrial Organizational Psychology program. And before she returned back to academia to work as a professor, Dr. Shaw worked as a research scientist, developing intelligence and personality assessments for a test publisher headquartered in Atlanta, in Georgia, not too far from us here in Athens. I came across a wonderful paper by her on using Minecraft, the game, to assess creativity. And that's what she's going to talk about in this particular session. The title of her talk is Creative Minecrafters, Cognitive and Personality Determinants of Creativity, Novelty, and Usefulness in Minecraft. I hope you enjoy the session.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Shaw. Today I'm very glad to share this recently published paper with you. As suggested by the title, the research topic is creativity in Minecraft. And this study focused on examining the concept of Minecraft creativity, the interrelationships among creativity and its two major aspects, novelty and usefulness, in the context of Minecraft. The study also explored the cognitive and personality determinants of Minecraft creative outcomes. So just in case some of you may not be familiar with Minecraft, it is a digital sandbox game that provides a 3D virtual world in which players build constructions via placing blocks. So it's very similar to Lego construction sets in real world. Unlike traditional video games that often require players to accumulate points to move on to the next level, the Minecraft game is about giving players freedom to set their own goals, explore, and create. So Minecraft's lack of rules and free-form gameplay have made this game suitable for expressing creativity. And in this study shared in today's session, we use Minecraft as the platform for artifacts creation. And we then evaluated the creativity levels of those Minecraft builds, houses, artifacts created by players. Here comes the million-dollar question: what is creativity? Despite decades of research, there is a lot of theoretical and empirical fragmentation in this field. Creativity has been studied from various perspectives, and the nature and structure of creativity are still highly contentious. Much of the debate is surrounding the number and content of elements that constitute the construct of creativity. Our study adopts the novel and useful definition of creativity, or the standard definition by Runkel and Jagger in 2012. But there are many other conceptualizations of creativity that contain additional components, such as surprise, non-obviousness, or aesthetic and authenticity. This novel and useful definition of creativity is proposed based on the two well-agreed upon major components of creativity, that is, novelty and usefulness. Novelty refers to originality. uncommonness or uniqueness, whereas usefulness may include variants such as appropriateness, applicability, relevance, fit, adaptiveness, etc. So the operationalization of novelty seems quite straightforward, but the scope of the term usefulness is more left open. As noted by several scholars, the connotation of this term usefulness actually varies by the nature of the context or task involved. For example, the usefulness aspect of creativity in arts often would entail subjective judgments about aesthetics, but in the context of scientific problem solving or engineering design, usefulness may rely more on utility and appropriateness, effectiveness of the final solutions. Novelty has also been identified as the primary or even central feature of creativity, while usefulness is secondary. Guilford, back in 1950, already pointed out that the usefulness aspect was mainly intended to disqualify random ideas that may appear uncommon but were not so relevant or reasonable. And in that case, this idea should not be considered as creative. And recently, Smith and Smith also explicitly stated that novelty should precede usefulness, and usefulness should just be potentially useful. So the studies, empirical studies that look into the relative weights of novelty and usefulness in creativity judgments also generally revealed the primary role of novelty. But those studies only use abstract and unrealistic divergent thinking tasks. So the question still remains open as to whether those previously found patterns of intercorrelations and relative weights of novelty and usefulness in creativity may extend to more realistic, complex, and information-rich production-based tasks, such as Minecraft building tasks, where usefulness might become more relevant in the evaluation of overall creativity. Therefore, here comes our first research question. Is this standard definition applicable to the Minecraft context? Can we just define Minecraft creativity based on novel and useful definition, this standard definition? And if so, what are the interrelationships among creativity, novelty, and usefulness in Minecraft? Will we still find the primary role of novelty? And how about the role of usefulness? How much can usefulness contribute to the evaluation of overall creativity in Minecraft? This is a research question about the conceptualization and assessment criteria of Minecraft creativity. So that's our first research question. And in addition to the ongoing research on the definition and assessment criteria of creativity in this field, there is a long-standing body of research from the creative person perspective that has explored the individual antecedents of creativity. So researchers want to find out what cognitive and personality factors can predict, can enable, can contribute to creative performance. Although this line of research is still active in differential psychology or the field of individual differences research, a set of cognitive and personality predictors of creativity across domains has become well established. First, divergent thinking. Divergent thinking is widely recognized as an integral process in creative idea generation, and therefore it is a key indicator of creative potential that could be predictive of real-world creativity. And then intelligence. Despite its minimal association with creativity found in a few very early studies, intelligence has now received a considerable amount of evidence supporting its positive association with creativity. And the last one is personality. Personality is worth examining because it generally captures the motivational, volitional mechanisms behind creative behaviors and performance. Among the big five personality variables, openness to experience, defined as the predisposition to be imaginative, curious, original, and open to new ideas, has shown a consistent, robust, positive link to creativity across a wide range of tasks in multiple domains, whereas mixed patterns of relationships have been found for the other big five traits. Because it is not a standard practice to measure and report both novelty and usefulness along with creativity in one study. Most of the existing research in this area in individual differences research only used the overall measure of creativity and did not look into the subcomponents. So we actually know very little about whether the predictive effects of those well-documented individual differences in cognitive and personality factors, that is divergent thinking, intelligence, and openness to experience personality traits specifically, we actually don't know whether the predictive effects of those factors, those individual antecedents on creativity will still carry over to the subcomponents, especially the usefulness aspect, given its traditionally secondary role. Therefore, we propose the second research question for this study: how would divergent thinking, intelligence, and openness to experience personality traits contribute to overall creativity, novelty, and usefulness in Minecraft? This is a research question about what personal factors may enable creativity in Minecraft. And here for Minecraft creative performance, we are examining both the overall creativity and the two subdimensions, novelty and usefulness. So in our study, we recruited undergraduates as our participants. To be eligible for this study, the participants must be at least 18 years old, and they should not be intermediate or advanced players of Minecraft, just to ensure that all the participants were novices for this Minecraft creation task. Also, computer science majors were ineligible to participate in our study because of their greater than average computer proficiency, which probably will enhance their Minecraft task performance. So that will cause some unwanted countdown. So we disqualified all computer science majors, and we did not want people who are advanced intermediate players of Minecraft to participate. So initially we recruited 300 undergraduate students, and after excluding 15 people who did not have complete data, our final analysis sample had 285 people. In terms of the demographics, the final sample was young, ethnically diverse, and there were slightly more women in the sample. So in the study process, participants first provided their written informed consent, and those who agreed to continue in the study proceeded to complete a questionnaire that asked them about their demographic information, their SAT total scores, their video game playing frequency, in addition to a personality measure. After finishing all of these, the participants were instructed to work on the divergent thinking task and the Minecraft task in the lab. Finally, participants were debriefed and thanked for their participation. So let's look at the specific measures and tasks that we used and just mentioned in the study procedure. We use SAT total scores as a convenient proxy for intelligence, and this has been done in the field of fragility and intelligence research. And SAT total scores are generally highly related to other cognitive ability tests and intelligence tests. Personality measure here, we use the 50-item IPIP inventory, and this measures the big 5 personality construct. And for divergent thinking tests, we ask the participants to complete 2 classic AUT items in which they were asked to list unusual uses for a brick and a knife, respectively. The top 2 subjective scoring approach was used for the scoring here because the top two subjective scoring, for example, compared to the uniqueness scoring, it emphasizes more quality over quantity of the responses, and is also relatively efficient for our scoring process. And in this task, participants were instructed to try their best to come up with creative ideas that were defined as uncommon, original, and reasonable. Each item was given 3 minutes, and after each item, they were asked to review their responses and select the best 2 uses that they consider as most creative. The picked best 2 responses will then be evaluated by trained raters for creativity. So this step 2 subjective rating method only uses the best 2 responses for scoring, and then the ratings were obtained as the indicator of divergence. After divergent thinking task is our core testing Minecraft task. In accordance with the standard definition, novel and useful definition, the conception of Minecraft creativity comprises of both novelty and usefulness components. Here, specifically, novelty refers to uncommon and original Minecraft artifacts, which should occur infrequently in the sample, whereas usefulness is broadly construed as including any feature that could make the ideas or Minecraft builds, the products, appear reasonable, potentially useful, or functional in some way, and or aesthetically pleasing. This definition, this novel and useful definition, and the detailed descriptions of novelty and usefulness, this definition was explicitly presented to the participants so that they were informed and they were told that this task was to design and build a house in Minecraft that was considered as creative by its given definition. Participants were also instructed to try to be creative and try to do their best job possible in the task. They were guided to master the basic controls first and then practice in Minecraft to make sure that they know how to operate in the game prior to the core building task. We also have trained raters doing the separate and independent rating for Minecraft creativity, novelty, and usefulness, following the aforementioned definitions. So they may do the general, the overall, the global rating for Minecraft creativity, and creativity is defined following this novel and useful definition. They were informed about the details, the descriptions of novelty and usefulness. And then for readers, the group of readers who that's the rating for novelty, you were only given the definition for novelty, the descriptions for novelty. And for the other group, that's the rating for usefulness, they were only focused on usefulness, and also they were presented with the definition for usefulness. So that was how this rating process worked. And the final scores for each Minecraft house, each Minecraft build, the final scores were generated by taking the average of all the raters' independent ratings in each group. And to better illustrate the creativity levels of the Minecraft houses in our study, here are 3 examples of the Minecraft houses that received unanimous ratings across all the raters on that group. So take a look. As shown in the upper panel, this house received ratings of 1, which is the lowest rating on creativity, novelty, and usefulness, all those 3 aspects, due to its very generic and unoriginal design and lack of aesthetic quality that could be appreciated by our raters. Without a door or window, it does not appear quite useful or functional either. And in the middle panel, the 2 houses received an overall rating of 3, which means moderately creative from all raters. Both houses seem to have a realistic design and exhibit some functionality or aesthetic features, but neither of the 2 houses here was considered extraordinarily creative by the raters. So that's why they got a moderately creative score for the overall creativity. And in the lower panel, this house received ratings of 5, which is the highest rating on creativity, novelty, and usefulness, all those 3 aspects here. Because this house was regarded as having a relatively complex and original design, very unique in the sample, and meanwhile it appeared aesthetic and functional to the raters. So you got the highest score from all of the raters in the group. Recall that we tried to examine these 2 research questions for the study. So we did the correlation and regression analysis. We wanted to examine the interrelationships among Minecraft creativity, novelty, and usefulness. And we wanted to know the predictive effects of divergent intelligence and the openness personality trait on Minecraft creative outcomes. And here is what we found. So in table 1, Minecraft creativity positively relates to divergent thinking. So here, Minecraft creativity is the 1. It positively relates to divergent thinking, or here, top 2, DT, originality, and also openness to experience, and also intelligence as indicated by SAT total scores. And these correlates were generally consistent with previous studies using other creative tasks or measures. So Minecraft creativity here, the relationship between Minecraft creativity and those cognitive and personality predictors, their relationships were as expected and were consistent with previous studies. And as for the links between the personal predictors and the 2 facets of creativity, novelty and usefulness. So 2 here is novelty, and 3 here is usefulness. So for novelty and usefulness, because this has not been examined in previous studies, we found that divergent thinking was positively related to novelty, but not usefulness. So here, related to novelty, but not related to usefulness. And openness was positively related to both novelty and usefulness. Here, openness. So it relates to novelty and also relates to usefulness.
And the last one, intelligence. It relates to intelligence as indicated by SAT total scores. It was positively related to novelty, again, but not usefulness. So this suggests that Minecraft novelty and usefulness, these two facets or aspects of creativity here, had different relationships with the predictor variables. As for the interrelationships among the creativity aspects here, if we look at creativity, novelty, and usefulness, their interrelationships, we can see that novelty and usefulness were highly correlated with each other, and they were both highly related to creativity. And the novelty-creativity relationship was higher than the usefulness-creativity correlation. Together, these intercorrelations indicated that although novelty and usefulness were positively related to Minecraft creativity, the overall creativity, the global ratings, we can still say that the overall creativity in Minecraft, the global ratings, were likely to be more dependent on and related to the novelty aspect, given the difference between the intercorrelations among the aspects here. So this is also consistent with the previous research on novelty and usefulness, novelty being the primary or even central feature and usefulness being the secondary. And the correlational table also showed that Minecraft creative outcomes were positively related to video game. Here is 11, video game playing frequency, and also negatively related to gender. Here, 2 refers to female. So this confirms our prior speculation about the effects of these two variables as confounds on Minecraft task performance. We measured them and we were thinking that they were probably influencing the performance of the video game playing frequency and also the gender, because previous studies have found gender differences on their video game playing frequency and also their video game play performance just in general, and also their interest difference. So we measured these two variables, and then we did find that Minecraft creative outcomes, creativity, novelty, and usefulness, they were all positively related to these two variables, video game play and also gender. So these two variables were included as control variables in the subsequent regression analysis when we try to test the predictive effects of those personal predictors on Minecraft creativity, novelty, and usefulness. So table 2, we conducted 3 hierarchical regression analysis in order to test the extent to which the Minecraft creative performance variances should be uniquely explained by each predictor, each significant predictor as shown in table 1, after controlling for the effects of video game playing frequency and gender. So we found that for the first criterion variable, Minecraft creativity, this is the global rating, overall creativity. We can see that SAT total scores, openness, and divergent thinking originality measured by the top 2 methods, they all remained significant predictors. And for the second criterion variable, Minecraft novelty, these 3 predictors still remained significant. For Minecraft usefulness, however, only openness remained a significant predictor. And SAT total scores and divergent thinking were not predictors of usefulness. This is in line with the correlational results. We just wanted to test them in the regression. So recall that we set out to examine the two research questions, and the first research question regarded the concept of creativity in Minecraft, and the results supported the novel and useful conceptualization of creativity in Minecraft, in the context of Minecraft. So the results reveal that Minecraft creativity, novelty, and usefulness were positively and highly linked to each other. And this is in line with the previous studies. Also, we found that the traditional focus of novelty in theorizing creativity and also what past empirical results found in terms of the primary role of novelty in creativity judgments, we found something similar. We found that in Minecraft, novelty correlated with creativity more highly. And so this is in line with the traditional focus or emphasis on novelty. But here, we need to note that the usefulness component in our study, the Minecraft usefulness, must not be neglected, even though it's not primary, it might be secondary, but still it had noticeable correlation with both overall creativity and novelty. And this finding contrasts with previous studies that reported a much lesser role of usefulness as an aspect of creativity. And as previously discussed, one explanation for this divergence lies in the differences between the creativity tasks. So Minecraft house building task in our study was about concrete object production in a more complex and information-rich problem context, whereas previous studies, for example, the Ronco study, the Diedrich to 2015 study, they use divergent thinking AUT items that examine idea generation in more abstract and unrealistic contexts. And in those tasks, as Ronco also pointed out, usefulness just seemed less relevant. And in a more realistic task, such as the Minecraft house building, the creation task, the contextual cues and the environmental, the situational elements, they were more conducive to usefulness, the usefulness aspect. So even though we still found that novelty correlated with overall creativity more highly as compared to usefulness, here the role of usefulness is much bigger than the role found in previous studies that used divergent thinking tasks, where usefulness might just be not so relevant, and those tasks were also very abstract and unrealistic, the divergent thinking AUT items. And the second research question focused on how some of those well-documented cognitive and personality determinants, predictors of individual creativity, may predict Minecraft creativity, novelty, and usefulness. So we wanted to know if the predictive effects of those well-established cognitive and personality predictors of individual creativity will still extend to this Minecraft context, this situation here. And the results confirmed and extended previous work on personal or individual antecedents of creativity, because the predictor variables of interest, namely divergent thinking, intelligence, and the openness personality trait, were all found to be predictive of creativity and novelty in Minecraft. Here, intelligence, operationalized as SAT total scores, emerged as the strongest predictor of Minecraft creativity, which also suggests the importance of analytical thinking, convergent thinking in Minecraft creative performance. And this is understandable because for this Minecraft building task, we would believe that the creator, the Minecraft creator, at least has to rely on convergent thinking, analytical thinking, intelligence to evaluate and decide on which ideas to pursue and to plan and execute in order to complete this creation task. And we also found that the usefulness criterion in Minecraft was only predicted by openness. And one plausible explanation is probably people high on openness to experience often engage in everyday creative explorations, activities, so that they are more likely, or at least they are able to draw on those daily creative experiences through which the accumulated memory or knowledge that is part of their crystallized intelligence, the knowledge about what features might make a Minecraft house, a Minecraft build appear potentially useful, functional, or aesthetic. So that's the speculation. Of course, it requires further research to know whether this really is the reason. But there is recent research on the mediating role of crystallized intelligence knowledge for the effects of openness personality trait on creativity. So that's a very likely explanation. Aside from the substantive implications, the Minecraft creativity task used here is another topic of discussion. In both academic community and testing industry, there is a growing interest in utilizing video game-based tasks for assessing and supporting creativity. As an educational medium that offers authentic creating and crafting experience, Minecraft has been used by teachers around the world to illustrate scientific concepts in an engaging and interactive way in classrooms. Despite Minecraft's popularity and the potential for assessing and supporting nurturing creativity, we knew little about how to define creativity or how to describe creativity in Minecraft. We didn't know if the standard definition, the novel and useful definition of creativity will really apply in this context. And we didn't know what personal factors might enable creativity in this game. So the current study explored the possibility of and also found support for measuring creativity in the context of Minecraft by demonstrating the applicability of the novel and useful standard definition. And this study also showed expected positive associations between Minecraft creative performance and those well-established personal determinants, cognitive and personality determinants of creativity. Therefore, this work can also serve as a starting point, which hopefully could stimulate continued exploration of utilizing Minecraft and also other digital sandbox games, other video games, and as alternative creativity tasks. And this effort will ultimately help enhance our understanding and attempt to develop creativity. And that's all for my presentation. And thanks very much for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.